We got on live. Hello, everyone. Diana. I always sit here. Come on, internet. We are having horrific winds today. They are just howling, and that can play havoc with the signals, the waves. But I want to say hello to everyone here. Sheila from Amsterdam says, "Hello, Diana. I hope you're doing well. We are." Um, and she says, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We have cold and snowy days in Amsterdam, and I don't like cold. I like cold clothes. I love sweaters, but I don't like feeling cold. I'm with you. I'm with you. We have a cold front blowing in, which is, we have had this really warm weather for Ohio. I mean, we've had weather up in, I think it even hit 60 degrees, which is really, really warm for Ohio. And then now it's going down to into the 20s. Burr. Okay. We'll send each other warm thoughts, Sheila, and I hope you're feeling well. Gilda from Guida, excuse me, I'm sorry, from Illinois says, hello, everyone. From Guida in Woodridge, Illinois, USA. She says, I broke my hip and I am at the P physical therapy facility now. Please pray for me to recover quickly. Guida, we are going to send you healing love and say a prayer for you. Absolutely, girl. And when I finish the video, I'll send some healing, more healing energy to you. Okay. And I know everyone here will hold you in healing energy and prayers and help you heal that. I know what that's like. Years ago, when I rode a motorcycle, I had an accident and my hip was one of the things I injured. So that can hurt. That can really hurt. So you take care of yourself. Juliet says, hello, Diana and everyone. And Guida says, physical therapy. Okay. And then we have, I always get confused, Wendy or Judy. I'm so sorry. Hello, everyone. Cold in London as well. I think London may have similar weather to where we are in Ohio, but I'm not sure. Judy, thank you. Um, I apologize. I apologize, Judy. I know it's Judy, and then I think, no, it's Wendy, and no, it's Judy. Says, Guida, lots of healing and prayers for you. And Judy says, sending healing love, Guida. So you're getting a lot of love. And I know there are a lot of people who aren't able to comment and who will hear this video later or watch it, and they too will send you lots of love. So, we become a community. We don't necessarily know each other in our day-to-day lives, but we become a community, and we certainly care about each other. Hello, Akila. She says, hello, family. And she will tell you that we are family. Absolutely. We're going to talk today, and I thank you for your questions. This is a question from one of our viewers. Are there beings and forces that are protecting us and Earth? And we're going to get my spirit guide, Phillip's answer in just a moment here. But I want to say, if you have questions that are personal, just give me a call and we'll set up a session for you. And all that information, cost and all that's on my website, which is just my name, and it is right below in the comments, or right below between the video and the comments. And also, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments. I just ask that you make them of an esoteric nature, of interest to everyone, such as this one. We will also get a message from Philip's book, The Master's Book of Answers by Philip. And as you know, it's an oracle book. I use this book every day to see what the day is going to bring me, or in the evening to see if I fulfilled what I was supposed to today. So thank you. We will get moving here. And I want to say, we are not in easy times. I think this is some of the most difficult times of my life. I'm 80 years old. And so I've had a beautiful, long life. And it's it's a difficult time here in the US. So, those of you who live outside of the US, we are so grateful for your holding us in energy and for your prayers. Um, it means a lot because we are going through a lot. And it's not about burying our heads in the sand, but it does take a lot of strength. And if you don't have that strength right now, you may need to distance yourself from a lot of what's going on in our country or in the US. If you have the strength, pay attention, speak out, march if that's appropriate for you, write letters, call your senators, your representatives. Do what we have to do. And at the same time, we have to stay in love. I can't stress that enough. If we don't bring our hearts back to love, if we stay in the anger, we add anger to the world and to the situations. So we have to stay in a place of love. And I think what we're saying today might give you a little bit of an answer about some of the things that have happened, horrific things that have happened recently. I have to say, in order for me to have the strength to speak out, I have to look at life from the spiritual perspective. If I look at it from just the human perspective, I can't deal with it. And I think that's true of most sensitive people. So whatever forces you to rest, Gaida, you might need some rest. And that's what your body's telling you, to right now step back and just receive that healing, loving energy. Okay, let me get started here going on, are there beings and forces that are protecting us and Earth? Here's what Phillip has to say. Why, yes, of course. Phillip is kind of a... We suppose, since you have asked this question, you would like a more detailed answer. This we shall give you. Well, thank you, Phillip. We're glad you're going to give us that detailed answer. There are those... I have to laugh a lot with Phillip because he can be sometimes sarcastic, sometimes just tries to make a joke, and sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not. So we just sometimes have to laugh at what he says. So here's the serious part, though. There are those from faraway planets who watch over both you and the planet Earth. Many of you came from these other planets who have come to Earth to help the planet and or to guide the beings to greater life. Or you have come to Earth to learn of human life or even to help destroy the goodness of the human experience. As you know, the last mentioned are not those who are protectors. We merely mention them as they are present in your world. Probably all can name a few of those. These forces, see, I can get mean too. Sarcastic. Shame on me. Okay. These forces that are from other planets who come to protect you and help Earth usually take human form. They may also take the form of an animal or even a tree or other vegetation. How will you know them? You probably won't, or nor is it necessary. It is enough to know they are there in form in your world, protecting life in all its forms and helping Earth. Earth is very much a self-protector. She has been in existence before life as you know it and will continue to exist long after humans have evolved or disengaged with human life. I thought that was kind of interesting. She will still continue to exist long after humans have evolved or disengaged with human life. Now let us speak of those in spirit form who protect you, and then we will speak of the forces that do the same. From spirit world, many watch over you, guide you, and protect you. In addition to the spirit guides who guide you, you have a fierce protector to save you from mishap and harm. You're merely to call upon spirit beings for help and aid, and you will begin to feel their presence. I want to stop for a moment, and I want to tell you that it helps to listen to our intuition, but we don't always, including me. I mean, there are times I'm busy, I'm getting ready to leave, and I have to go. And I have my purse? Do I have this? Do I have that? And I'll get out to the car and I'll say, I've forgotten something. And I go back in and I go through each room and I've left nothing plugged in, like the heating iron or the curling iron. I unplugged it. I turned off this light. Why was I feeling I forgot something? Get back out the car and I think, I haven't forgotten anything. And then I think, but I wasn't listening to my intuition that was telling me it wasn't time to leave. Okay, so my intuition may have saved me from a car accident, may have saved me from hurting an animal that was crossing the road. Who knows? But the point is, there are those who protect us if we only listen. And it doesn't always come across the way we think it's going to. It doesn't always say, wait 5 minutes. It may give us the information. You didn't get everything. And you go back. And if you caught the wait 5 minutes, okay. If you listen to that, that's good. But if you didn't, like me at times, you have to go back in. And an excuse will come up to keep you from getting in the accident or hitting that little squirrel that runs this way, then that way, then this way again. If you've seen squirrels run across the road, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go on with what Phillip has to say. Again, you've merely to call upon your spirit for beings for help or aid, and you will begin to feel their presence. There are also loved ones who have gone before you who protect you. This may be more difficult for them, but easier for you to call on them. We say this because, unlike your guides, who have risen to levels of easy communication and higher knowledge, loved ones may only now be learning how to communicate across worlds. Plus, they may not yet have the higher dimensional knowledge. However, the love between you allows for easier communication for you and a feeling of how their love protects you. You know, so often, excuse me, when I'm doing readings and people may ask me about a child, and almost always, especially young children and babies, I almost always see if there's a great grandmother or grandparent in spirit world, I see them standing over that child. So loved ones are great protectors, as are our spirit guides. The forces, and we all have that human protector. We can also call in whomever we believe in. So if you believe in a saint, for example, if you were raised with saints, call in the strong ones and have them protect you. Angels, call in what you believe in to protect you. Phillip goes on to say, the forces that protect you are what we call the energies. This is important. Pay attention. These energies you help to create by your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Your beliefs are the control of whether the energies or forces are protecting you. For example, if you are a religious person, you believe in a higher being to whom you pray for protection. In doing so, you evolve a sense of being protected. You have drawn to you the energy or the forces of protection. If you're not a religious person, then simply, as I do, I believe in love and I believe in my spirit guide. So whatever you believe in, call it in and ask it for protection and believe it. Phillip goes on to say, for this to be effective, you must live in and act with the energy of your belief. For example, if you live in the energy of fear, the energy of non-protection, you will find you do not feel protected on your life's journey. However, if you live in the energy of love and knowing you are protected by those who watch over you, you are protected. I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and we were talking about how as children, we both had experiences where we felt protected. And so as adults, we still have that sense of being protected. But children, I love their stories, and I love our stories that we look back on. And I bet every one of you can remember a story where, as a child, you were really protected. Whether you call those who watch over you angels, spirit guides, earth protectors, God, or loved ones, to feel protected and to be protected depends on both the energy in which you live and the soul agreements you made before human life. And this may help you understand some of the things that are taking place in our world now, what I'm about to give you. Phillip says, if you agreed to be a human sacrifice for a cause that helps humanity, does this mean you don't have protection? It does not. Human life is only one step in your soul's journey. How long the journey and where the journey takes you is up to you. We suggest you keep your heart centered in the energy of love. In doing so, you will indeed feel those who surround and protect you. So, my friend, I think when I think of the last couple of paragraphs, if you agreed to be a human sacrifice for a cause, I think of people like Dr. Martin Luther King. I think of others, certainly, some very recent. But I also remind myself, if we look at life from a higher perspective, we can bless those who have sacrificed. And at the same time, we can recognize we all have a soul's journey, and we may want to thank those who have sacrificed for a higher purpose. That doesn't mean we don't shed the tears. That doesn't mean we don't speak out if it was an injustice. But let us remember, human life is only one step in your soul's journey. How long the journey and where the journey takes you is up to you. We suggest you keep your heart centered in the energy of love. In doing so, you will indeed feel those who surround and protect you. Let's get our message for the week, shall we? Okay, I'm hearing left. That's page 40. I also will read page 41. If you heard left, we're in sync. If you heard, and that's a message for everyone. If you heard right, that's a message you want to pay special attention to, because that's a message for you. On page 40, which is left, it says, when you judge another, it is really yourself you're judging. When you judge another, it is really yourself you're judging. I want to add a little explanation to this, because that sounds kind of harsh up front. And instead of judging another, let us judge the act rather than the person. And then, because we never can judge a soul's journey, we have no idea what that soul has agreed to. And we don't know their journey. We only know our own. And sometimes we don't even know that. So instead of judging a person, judge the act. And then look at it in our own life. Like if I get angry at somebody, I step back and I say, what in my own life, why is this anger here? What does the situation have to do with me? And then I am able to look at what I might be angry with, heal that, and recognize the other person was just the spark, and say thank you. Thank you for sparking that to allow me to heal. Now on the right, which is page 41, if you heard right, it says, when you recognize another's right to believe differently from you, you have begun. When you understand those beliefs, you have learned. When you understand why those beliefs are held, you have grown. I think that's a difficult, in today's world, very difficult one for us, but I'll read it again. When you recognize another's right to believe differently from you, you have begun. When you understand those beliefs, you have learned. When you understand why those beliefs are held, you have grown. Well, my friend, We all have a different journey, and for some of us, we must speak out against an injustice, or when we see harm, we must take action. For another, that is not their journey. So we each must choose our own journey and make adjustments as we go through life. I think that Philip is really telling us, and all the masters are really telling us, is whatever we do, whatever we say, however we live, we must return to love. Love, first of all, for ourselves, and love for all beings. That doesn't stop us from speaking out, but it does show us how to speak out. Speak out in love. I love you, my friends. Is this easy? Oh my gosh, no, I don't think so. But I do say, when you look in the mirror and nobody looks back, you're done. Until then, keep loving. Thank you for the love you send to us and to our world. Thank you for the love that you receive from us. And most of all, thank you for loving yourself. And Dawn says, thank you, Diana. Have a blessed day and weekend. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you all who have come. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your comments here and in the section below. And again, thank you for the love that you give yourself and that you give to others. And doing that in kind acts. I'll see you next week, if not before. I love you. Thank you.